Hey guys, just want to make a quick video for you today on a concept that I really think it separates the people that are good in business and in life and relationships from the people that really become outstanding or amazing. And it's this concept of sensory acuity. It's acute sensitivity to what's really happening. And I often do these presentations for Tony, and I'll hear somebody talk about their goals or things going on in their life, and you can hear something in their voice. You can feel the incongruencies. You can notice things. You can start to appreciate the inconsistencies in people's words, actions, behaviors. And if you can notice that, what really makes a consultant, a salesperson, a communicator really powerful is noticing these subtle cues in communication. And in order to do that, to recognize that, to capitalize on that, to basically turn these incongruencies in other people's communication, getting them aligned, is what's really going to help you add the perspective and the value to the people around you to really help get them. But it's an interesting concept, this one of sensory acuity. You know, I will talk to somebody and I'll be really loud, and I'll notice that their eyes get really big, or I'll be too close in their personal space, or sometimes I'm too far apart and they don't feel connected to me. It's interesting because I see people at one end of the spectrum who have such a high, amazing amount of sensory acuity, where there are a lot of artists. You know, here I live here in Los Angeles, a lot of actors, and it's almost overwhelming. You know, being one of those people. I would consider myself one, very, very sensitive. Almost overwhelmed by all the sensory data that's coming in through my eyes and ears, and you notice everything, which can kind of shut you down in some ways. So I see some people at one end of the spectrum where they're very sensitive and aware. And then there's other people at the complete opposite end of the spectrum. And you could probably begin to think about that guy that you know that when they come in, like everybody, it's like a really quiet room and everybody's whispering. And this guy's like, oh yeah, yesterday while I'm in the bathroom, you know, just like some weird thing. You're like, oh my God, this guy just is like, he doesn't get it. And then there's the other person that's already like, they're so oversensitive to everything. Both can be effective. I see people, you know, when we're communicating and when we're influencing people, when we're doing interventions, what really makes us powerful based on our experience is pattern recognition, recognizing patterns. Well, when a person says that thing, or you notice an energy in a room, I've gone into houses and I could feel that there's something going on financially, or bad things in a relationship. You become acutely sensitive, and the depth of your intuition and awareness is that human beings are freaking amazing. But some people at the other end of the spectrum, again, just don't get it. But sometimes in a situation, I see people become very, very successful who have very little sensory acuity, because they just go for it. You know, they're so just narrow-minded and focused. They make strong assumptions and they just pull through. The flip side of that is sometimes they make strong assumptions that are completely wrong, and they make an ass of themselves. So on one side, you have these highly sensitive people that notice everything, and the other side, you have the ones that don't notice anything at all. You know, and you see that more and more these days. You're walking around and there's the person looking at their cell phone while they're texting, and they walk into something. Or you see people standing right in the middle of a walkway. They're just not aware. And we all go internal sometimes into our own experience. It's like that's basically the process of hypnosis. You know, people say all the time, it's like, how do you get people hypnotized? Have you taken these classes? The trick is getting people non-hypnotized, getting them out of their experience and out there, because this is where life is happening. And so I'm actually taking my guys, I coach some guys in Hungary every week, and we're doing some exercises this week with how to enhance our sensory acuity, to notice the visual, the vocal, the physical cues in people's body language, and really begin to notice and use this information to get people tied back to our outcomes and ultimately their own. Our outcome should always be in alignment with our client's outcome. And if there's that alignment, that's where we really have the most influence and impact that we can. So the exercise for you today is just to become aware. And I'm sure that you have a certain level of awareness, but there's always a higher level. The man that I respect the most in the world when it comes to this is Tony Robbins, and I'm going to cut this off soon. I don't want this to go too long, but I've seen him. He's the best in the world at pattern recognitions, but I've seen him make strong choices based on what he saw, and he was wrong. And he saw that he was wrong, and then he changed his approach. So he noticed things in the person's voice. At first he made an assumption. So make strong assumptions on the one end, but be acutely sensitive and aware on the other end to change your approach. And some of you have had strong directions and decisions you've made for a very long time. You need to really pull back and change your approach to your life, your relationship, how you communicate with others, and how you communicate with yourself. Because that double-edged sword of sensory acuity, you want to be able to turn it on and off. But being really focused on your outcome and that of your clients is what's really going to help you have the level of influence, impact, and the quality of life that you want. Because to have a great quality of life, it takes people. It takes people skills. And every time something's great in your life, you probably call somebody. Every time something's probably challenging in your life, you probably call somebody. And so noticing when they call you or when they call upon you as a coach, as a mentor, as an agent of change in the world that I know that you are, you want to be able to enhance this skill, this master skill. And before I go too, I just want to basically show you this card. This is a card from leadership. And again, this has gone a little long, but the purpose of sensory acuity is to focus on training all of your senses to be aware and identify any behavioral clues or patterns that a person exhibits. To then utilize these cues or patterns to build rapport quickly and to also use them to measure intervention results with a client. So that's a bit longer than I wanted to go today, but take this in and apply it to your life.